Okay, so Layar got their hands on a pair, I guess you say a pair of Google Glass. Do you say a pair of Google Glasses? I'm not exactly sure yet. Anyway, they got some, and they invited me from early adopter and a bunch of other people from some of their other clients and partners to go and play with them, basically. And my first mistake was not wearing my contact lenses. I actually brought my glasses with me, so when I had to take off my glasses and put on the Google Glass, everything in the Google Glass was blurry. And I was somehow thinking that because it's like right there, that it would be, like it is when I look at some things that are close up, which I can actually see. No, they basically were somehow making it as if it was further away, so I could not see them at all.
So no prescription glass at this point?
No, not yet. I've decided that the next pair of glasses that I get, though, are gonna be web-enabled somehow, whatever that means at the time. We'll see what comes out in a year or two. And maybe Google Glass will have prescription frames too. But it was a really interesting experience, and I mean, one of the things that we found out is that Google Glass is not really going to be appropriate for augmented reality. It does not allow you to present digital content over the entire view of somebody. It's basically all contained within a tiny little image, and what you can do is you can see a video of the world in that frame, which you could then layer content over the top of, but you're basically only changing a tiny piece of the view, and I just don't think that's how people are going to want to use augmented reality. They're going to want a different kind of format that's going to be basically able to put digital content over anything in the real world. Now, maybe that's going to be dangerous. I mean, there's a lot of things here to work out. But the thing that I thought was most interesting and most useful for Google Glass was the Hangout capability, and that's clearly what Google is kind of pushing, is the idea of like sharing what you're doing with somebody else. And it basically means that anybody anywhere could have potentially any number of people just sort of writing along with them. And when I was teaching my class, my Web3 class at City Tech, I was standing here in front of 18 college students in Brooklyn, and I was thinking to myself, every single one of these kids could have potentially some number of people riding along with them if they all had Google Glass. Now they aren't going to be able to afford them, but the prices of everything will come down, and eventually it'll come down to a point where college students might be able to have them. And then, does that start to potentially compete with online learning? It's sort of a form of online learning. But basically, anything where being in a certain place is at a premium, talking to certain people, being in a certain experience, I think Google Glass is going to kick that door wide open, where potentially people all over the world will be able to come along with the people who are in that place, whatever that is, whether that's New York City or any place where a lot of people wish they were.
So you could actually have someone be a real life avatar for someone
else.
Yeah,
right. I mean, and potentially with all the tools that Google Glass allows, they could be doing things like sharing questions with each other. Someone could be in a room, I could be in a room talking to you, and I could have a whole team of people feeding me information about whatever we were talking about.
Right. They could be looking at the rest of the room, looking for clues about something.
Through Google Glass. So it kind of, I think Google Glass is going to be a big deal. And it may not be the big deal that the augmented reality community is looking for, but I think it's going to be it's going to change some stuff in some very serious ways.
Maybe unanticipated ways.
Yeah. Oh, wouldn't be surprised at all. Just having the web in your eye is going to be a big deal, for sure.